what's going on in this matter is the private parties advanced a bill of exchange to discharge their tax liabilities. But they appear to be on the payroll of a public company. And they keep getting paid by checks out of the banking account of that company every week. Now, the party that said they haven't closed their other public accounts is right on point. Look, before you can access the exemption, asset money to discharge liabilities, what must you first exhaust? Every one of the liabilities that your straw man possesses, which the straw man calls an asset. Is your payroll paycheck, it's a wage to the straw man, isn't it? Does it get paid in asset or liability funds? Liability. So the straw men have more public liabilities every week, and they want the taxing authorities to consume the exemption before all the liabilities have been discharged? I don't think so. And so they keep ignoring the bill of exchange, which is on the exemption. They never say that the bill of exchange is no good. They haven't said that once. They just ignore it. Until when? Until their forensic investigation determines that the straw man has no more what they call assets, which is really liabilities. It's like a thermometer, the old mercury kind. You can't jump from 32 degrees below to 110 degrees Fahrenheit above without first going through zero. You've got to exhaust the liabilities before the public will allow you to attach the exemption, which is the asset. So what they're doing is they're going to anyone in a forensic investigation saying, do you have any liabilities belonging to these debtors? Now, the company basically is headed up by the same people who are the debtors in the tax. And so when the state petitions the company, the officers of the company defer to the affidavits of negative averment of the defendants in the tax case saying we tendered something and it's never been applied to the count. But the Attorney General in the taxing department never applies it to the account. Why? They're still assuming and presuming there may be some liabilities out there that should be seized first. Now, if the people running the company were to do an affidavit that basically said, oh, those debtors no longer pull a wage from the company and we have no assets, i.e. liabilities, belonging to the debtors, what would happen to the order of garnishment? It's gone. The forensic investigation is over. But you see, the people that are running the company want to continue to draw a liability wage without losing it to the government, and at the same time pay their government liabilities with the exemption. They're like a two-headed man. They operate in equity and law, and it depends on It's all for their benefit. They're not consistent. They're double-minded. Do these parties have character and standing to use the execution of law procedures in the public proceedings? No. Now, my friend Nick, and I really appreciate his comments, and believe me, he's operating there in the background, not just for him and me, but for you too. He said, Smith, you're doing okay, but do not give any false assumptions and presumptions to these people that they can live and do whatever they want wherever they go. They cannot act like double-minded people and not be legal lunatics that are going to get injured by what they're doing. They can choose one course or the other in their life and be in perfect harmony with both the world of law and equity. But they cannot operate on both sides. To put it another way, who do you have to be in harmony with to get a remedy? The Creator and your brother. First honor me, the Creator, then honor your brother who I created. And with this is all the law, all the gospel, and all the remedy. You get standing in character by following the Father's law, not by reading the statutes and the remedies of man. You can technically follow the law offerings in every case and in every statute and CFR of man. But if your actions in the background are in dishonor to what your Father has created you to be and do, no matter what you appear to try to do under the rules, regulations, and laws of man, you will never prevail, and they will not let you prevail because they are agents for the Father in heaven. It's not their law that counts. It's the law of the Creator that counts. And they're operating as His agents. So because the rules, their rules, have a remedy on the side of law, does not mean that any standing gives you access to those correct rules, even when your standing is incorrect. If you have good standing, the rules allow them, the government, a provision to give you the remedy pursuant to the law. But if you are not in harmony with the law of God to begin with, you have no standing and character to go in and invoke the rules and provisions of law to get the remedy through those equity courts. Everything starts with standing, which is substance, which, to say it another way, is you've washed your hands at law and you've stood with your Maker and your brother in harmony. Does it not say in the New Testament that if you go before the altar and you have discovered that you have aught with your brother, you are to leave and go resolve your differences with your brother before you come back to the altar? What is the court? Isn't that the altar? Aren't those black-robed judges the priest agents for the Father operating the civil law because the church has not understood and followed the Creator's law? So the Creator brings His priesthood through those people that you don't believe are the priests, the ones that stand up in the judgment thrones as though they were the priests. So you have to understand that to go to those courts and get a remedy, you've got to be in honor with your brother and with the system before you go in for your court case. John,
Yeah, I have a
new paragraph.